For this assessment, you want your client seated with their shoulder adducted and neutrally rotated like this. You want their elbow in 90 degrees flexion and their wrist and forearm in a neutral position. First, I'll assess the palmar pinch. I would show the client an example of what I want them to do, having them place their thumb on the back side and their first two fingers on the front side, and then asking them to squeeze as hard as they can, making sure it's set to 0 prior to. Thumb on the back side, 2 point fingers on the front, and squeeze. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Stop. You'll note that there's two different sets of scores on these. The outside is in pounds and the inside is in kilograms. For this one, I'll document in pounds, which is 16 pounds. I would then reset it to 0, give the client approximately 1 minute rest break, and then have him do it 2 more times. The final score is computed by calculating the mean of all 3 trials. Next, I would assess the key or the lateral pinch. Again, I'm going to give an example of it, as showing the client that I want them to place their thumb on the top this time, and their finger on the bottom like this, and then squeeze as hard as they can. Making sure it's set to 0, we'll do that. Thumb on top, finger on bottom. I'm holding it distally. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Stop. Again, writing the score down from the outside, which is 25 pounds. I would reset it to 0. And then I would have the client do it 2 more times with approximately 1 minute rest break between sets. Using the 3 scores, I would add them together and then divide by 3 to calculate the mean score. The last one that I will show is the tip pinch. For this one, again, it's going to be the thumb will be placed on the back and the finger is going to be placed on the front, almost like you're making an O, and you'll tuck your other fingers into your hand. Making sure it's set to 0. Thumb on the back, finger on the front, other fingers tucked in, and squeeze, 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 squeeze. Stop. Recording the score, 16. Write it down. I'd reset it to 0, allowing approximately 1 minute rest break between trials, have them do it 2 more times, and take the mean score of 3 trials. For the purpose of this video, I did not show trials of all 3 positions. Below is an example of what scoring would look like had I. For palmar pinch, it would have been 16, a score of 17, and a score of 16, which would average out to 16.33. For the key lateral pinch, it was a score of 25, 24, 24, with an average of 24.33. And for tip pinch, it was a score of 16, 17, 17, with an average of 16.67. You'll see on the right-hand side, right-hand norms for the age division of men between the ages of 40 and 45, as this male was 40 years old. You'll note that his key lateral pinch and his tip pinch scores were pretty average, but his palmar pinch score was significantly lower than the average of that of men in his age division.